everybody, welcome to So Many Sequels, your book club for movies. I'm Josh.
I'm Garrett.
And I'm David.
Welcome to So Many Santas. Week 3.
Oh, oh, oh.
Ho, 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 ho.
Indeed.
It's week 3 of the show. It's all holidays all the time over here. We've got we got trees up, we got sweaters on. David has nothing, but that's fine.
I tried.
I see no festiveness in David's shot. Yeah, for the audio listeners.
He's
desperately looking, and there's just nothing. Nothing. No Christmas.
Scramble.
Oh, there we go.
Wrapping paper.
He found wrapping paper. We'll take it. Yeah. So far, we just covered Christmas with the Cranks, and then before that, we did. I forgot. We do.
Hot Frosty.
Hot Frosty.
Was it Hot Frosty?
Yeah, but of course I forgot Hot Frosty. It's the forgettable one of them all. Yeah, we did Hot Frosty.
Hey, no, that was a. We had a very lovely YouTube comment about the value of Hot Frosty.
The value.
It was
high.
I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was very well thought out, and I assume not AI.
Yeah, go subscribe to us on YouTube. Help us reach our new subscriber goal of 343, and leave a comment letting us know what you thought of Hot Frosty and Christmas with the Cranks. This week, we're going to be talking about 8 Crazy Nights, which was David's pick.
Mm-hmm.
8 Crazy Nights is about Davey Stone, a 33-year-old party animal who finds himself in trouble with the law after his wild ways go too far. This is Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights, as it's also titled. It is kind of his take on his own Hanukkah story, I guess. It is supposed to be centered around Hanukkah versus the traditional Christmas type animated special.
Mm-hmm.
So
the title draws reference to the Hanukkah song.
The Hanukkah song, yeah, that
mm-hmm.
Adam wrote. How did this perform box office wise, David? Before we get into the whys and the what ifs and the whys again.
Well, as you can imagine, a fairly adult PG-13 Adam Sandler animated film did not do very well at the box office. And opening weekend, it came in number 5 with $14 million. The number 1 movie that weekend was Die Another Day. The James Bond film brought in $46 million in its second week. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets was the number 2 movie with $45.7 in its third weekend. And then The Santa Claus 2 was number 3. With 16.8, and a movie that actually I probably might have been seeing this very weekend was Treasure Planet, brought in 16.5 in the number 4 spot. So 8 Crazy Nights finishing 5th behind that. Treasure Planet and 8 Crazy Nights, one of 5 debuting movies that weekend. It would go on to make about $23 million in the U.S., $245,000 overseas, for a worldwide total of $23.8 million. So not a stellar run. That's the equivalent of about $41 million in 2024, that U.S. run. Budget of $34 million. It didn't even make that back. It would finish as the number 101 film of 2002, right behind The Sweetest Thing and right above Adaptation. Number 1 movie of 2002 is Spider-Man, which is a movie we reviewed. Number 2 is Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, Attack of the Clones at number 3, Harry Potter at number 4, and My Big Fat Greek Wedding at number 5. We've been to 2002 many times before, reviewing Spider-Man and Lord of the Rings, but we also reviewed Red Dragon, Men in Black 2, Star Trek Nemesis, and we just recently reviewed, for So Many Scares, 1 Hour Photo. So that is your box office recap for this.
So my question for David is, are you mad at Garrett and I? And we need to have some kind of conversation, and that's why you would pick a movie such as this to talk about during a time of year that is supposed to be of joy. So why did you pick this movie, if you can even call it that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know at a subconscious level if there's something wrong. The thing is, I know that Garrett likes movies that are not traditional Christmas messaging. You like movies where things are rough, a little ugly. You like the ugly side of Christmas. You like Bad Santa, 'Twas the Night, or The Night Before, whatever that one with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's called.
Yes.
So I thought maybe that might appeal to Garrett. I don't know. I knew that it wasn't great before I picked it. But really, like I said this, I think, a few weeks back, TikTok made me do it. There was the song at the end where he goes, "It's just not fair," and the guys come in going, "Bum bum biddy biddy bum bum." That was a popular TikTok trend for a little while, and I was like, you know what? We're doing 8 Crazy Nights, and because we need to do more stuff. We've talked before about how some of the classics we've already run out of. And I thought, you know what? Let's do something goofy. Let's do something weird. And I'm really glad that I think we're going to continue our trend because so far this year we've reviewed Hot Frosty, which was a 2.1 on Letterboxd, and Christmas the Cranks, which is 2.7. I think we're staying in the 2s, boys, because this was somehow even worse than I remembered it. But that's not... I don't know. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. But why did I pick it? Because I like chaos sometimes. Much like reindeer games, I sometimes like to watch bad movies and then talk about them.
Well, I will say that like I really don't have any memory of watching this in like real actual watching it. I just know about it. So I'm just going to consider this my first time watching it. I had incredibly low expectations, and they were not met at all. They were like so not met.
Yeah.
Garrett, what were your expectations for this?
I kind of am like you. I don't think I had any. I have never seen it. I remember the trailer for it coming out. I remember it existing. I'm sure it ran on Comedy Central quite a bit. And I never had seen it, so I didn't really have any expectations. Or if I did, all of them were complete. Like, I have blocked it out because whatever I got was so far left of what I expected that I have forgotten everything that existed before I had seen this. So I think that I don't know what to think.
Yeah.
Is kind of where I'm at here. Because somehow it was really dumb.
Yeah.
And I expected that. But I still didn't expect this. Yeah.
I know. I'm so happy.
I would say that's kind of where I fell. Is didn't have any. And it somehow didn't meet those expectations.
Yes, and I warned, I tried to anyway, I warned my wife beforehand, this is going to be like really dumb and really crass and borderline tough. And it definitely fell through that. She fell asleep, so I think she's fine with that. And it is, I mean, I'll get into it. It's a very... I don't know. It's a very gross movie. It's a very... like brash. It's not like there's, you could make an argument this is Adam Sandler's sort of take on a Scrooge or Grinch type character, but he's just so obnoxious that there's very little interest in watching him grow. So it does. I don't know if it really works all the way. I think the movie does get better over time, but it starts so bad that where it finishes is like barely, something where you go like, oh yeah, that was good. You know what I mean? You just like it starts in shit and finishes in bad.
I didn't enjoy it. Is just kind of where listen, Adam Sandler.
Oh, you got a lot of notes down here.
This is like his Christmas Jack and Jill.
Right.
Like, I put it in that same range,
Okay.
He has some really good smash hits, and he's got some stinkers. Mm-hmm. And this was just, Adam Sandler can sometimes go too far to the extremes in every single one of his characters. Mm-hmm. And this is that. Like, no one was likable. Everyone was just annoying.
No, he had none of his Adam Sandler charm, even though he's essentially playing an Adam Sandler type, just animated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's playing a Mr. Deeds or a Mr. whatever, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
He sucks.
There's a lack of charm. And like, listen, like you said, David, I enjoy a sourpuss being a sourpuss during the holiday season. Those are movies that I associate with. For many moons of my life, I grew up also being a sourpuss around this time of year for several different reasons. When you have a family member die on Christmas Eve, it puts a sour note on things sometimes, especially when you're a kid. And also, you're told from so many people, like, hey, the holiday season is magic and wonderful, and then you go outside and everyone's an asshole. Everyone is an asshole.
Right.
And so it makes me feel sourpussy.
Well,
but like this one was just everyone sucked.
Well,
the people that you're supposed to like were not likable.
No.
They had some charm, but it just was. Then they would show them in their regular lives, and they were so far on the strange, like extreme strange.
Yeah.
Listen, I have an appreciation for strange, but this was too far. So
no, that's exactly it. It's like Hubie Halloween, where the character, so like Whitey, as played by Adam Sandler, is a character who's supposed to be this really good, he's this good guy, upstanding member of the community that just nobody cares about, and everybody like walks all over because of what he looks like, and but like to take that character concept and then to make the character have such a bafflingly awful voice that just like you don't want to listen to him. You're barely, It's kind of like Hubie Halloween. I remember watching that and I was like, this is just such a terrible voice. And like Adam does dumb voices, I get that, but when you layer it on this thick, it becomes just like even the one character that's supposed to be a nice guy that I'm supposed to be kind of rooting for to have their moment. It's just so grating, and the same with his sister. It's like these are the characters you want me to feel nice for or feel something for, and they're just grating to listen to. I wish I could think of a better word than grating, but that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, what are you thinking, feeling?
I hated every second of this. And like I tried to go into it with some sort of like open mind, but like it did just start immediately badly and never recovered. There, like, goodness, did I hate Whitey. And what is, he's supposed to be the character that you sympathize for because he's the forgotten older man in the community, but he's so gross with the hair, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's just like, he's so annoying when he talks. And I just want to cry rather than talk about it, almost.
Yeah, and even the part of this that, in theory, an element that could have saved this movie is if most of the songs were good, and you're thinking it was Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler likes to write funny songs. Maybe some of these will be good. I think all of them are pretty bad or forgettable.
I don't disagree. However, I will say I found the songs to be the most enjoyable part.
Interesting.
Because he does put some effort into being funny. I'm not saying they're memorable or good, but compared to the dialogue, I would rather listen to the songs.
Yeah. Take the song, no dialogue, all singing.
I mean, maybe if I had that option. But I also felt like, I don't know. I've never watched those Hotel Transylvania movies that he does. But I thought his acting from a voice acting perspective was just terrible. Like way worse than his on-screen acting was at this time period. This movie came out the same year as Punch Drunk Love. And that is the Adam Sandler that went in the recording booth. And I'm like, he can't do voice acting. He's very bad at it. At least in 2002. I thought it was hard to listen to him a lot of times.
I think probably a good piece of that is that the Hotel Transylvania movies, there's probably like there's a director who's pushing him into a character, whereas here it's like it feels very much like they wrote the part to be Adam Sandler's, Adam Sandler as an a-hole, and that's what he's playing. He's not. There's no stretching here. There's no real character to get into. It's just Adam Sandler say mean, hurtful things, not even necessarily funny things, just hurtful things. And I mean, like I want to like it. I wish that there was a version of this movie that was good, because an animated musical starring Adam Sandler could be good. In 2002, it wasn't quite.
Look, it didn't do Hanukkah any favors, and I don't even know. It was what was even Hanukkah about it, really?
No.
And
it's
I will
just
say
the
that I
fact
think
he's
that's where
Jewish.
my expectation lies, because maybe my expectation was I kind of was hoping that I would get more of a Hanukkah focused movie, to be honest with you, based on the movie, based on Adam Sandler and his being Jewish and growing up that way. So I think for me, I was expecting the movie to kind of look at it from, the holiday perspective, from like the lone or like the Jewish family in the city or something like that. And I agree. It didn't really seem like that played any kind of part in there, other than it was more acknowledged than it is in most holiday movies.
Yeah.
Like, it was represented, and he was Jewish, and that came up several times about where he played basketball, and it seemed like an origin story. But it also seemed like Adam Sandler just got really freaking high and was like, it'd be funny if I made a Christmas movie, guys. And then he did, and that was how that happened.
Yeah. Something my wife said early on was like, I feel like this could have just been live action. I don't know why they bothered animating this. And,
That too.
And, the funny thing about, or one funny thing to me about it is that it feels very like it purifies a lot of what Adam Sandler's favorite things are. Because, like, as a character, he's really good at basketball. He likes, yelling and being obnoxious and things like that. And then, having kind of these weird, over-the-top, eccentric characters that normally, like on SNL or other things, he can't physically play Whitey because of what Whitey's described like, but he can make somebody who looks as weird as the voice he wants to create for it. So like all of those elements playing in together, and the focus on a little bit of Jewish culture, it's all there, but it's far from being Adam Sandler's charming animated version of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah, it's not that at all. Not even a little bit. It's got his regular cast of friends, basically. Rob Schneider, Kevin Nealon,
Boo.
Yeah,
John Lovitz.
He's all right.
yeah.
Whatever. John Lovitz is fine.
His wife plays his love interest in this movie before they were married.
Yes, his future wife. And I don't feel like they added anything. Like the SNL regular friends, who always show up in his movies.
Yeah.
Even they feel less present in an animated form, I think. It's like seeing a cartoon John Lovitz.
Yeah.
And here's, I don't know, I'm just going to throw a theory out there that maybe someone smarter's already said. I'm feeling like these guys just aren't good typically in a recording booth, from my understanding, they're alone. And these guys feed off of each other's energy. They're improv performers, they're sketch comedians, and I think when they're just in a booth, they don't know how to say things in funny ways at this time in their career. Some of them are still working on it.
And a movie like this really could have benefited from an ensemble recording, which some
Oh.
And if they did that, ooh.
Some animated studios do that. We watched Surf's Up a couple years ago. That they did ensemble recording for that, and you can feel the characters bouncing off each other. You can feel how natural it seems, and I think it does. I think that's a good. You're probably right, Josh. That when you isolate this, it doesn't work as well. Go ahead.
I think that they're also just human cartoons, and so we are so used to seeing them in human cartoon form that when you see them in cartoon form, you just picture them as real. Like that was, I'm just picturing them because I imagine them doing a dumb voice in real life because that's what they would do.
You know what? That's a good point. Because you get none of the Sandlerisms in the animated form, like his physicality. You get none of the Lovitz stuff. Lovitz is like, he should be killing on a stage like that. But he's just like, I feel like talking normally because there's no facial expression really. It's just like weird animation.
Yeah. We also haven't talked about,
They also just weren't funny.
There's quite a few elements of the movie that have obviously aged poorly in different respects. One specifically being Rob Schneider as Mr. Chang for the whole movie. That was pretty over the top. But there's also a lot of like little jokes and asides that happen along the way. Whitey and his sister as characters are, probably a little ableist, but anyway, I gotta be honest, guys. There is a part of me that I enjoy trying to find these fringe movies. We had a big discussion years ago about what is a Christmas movie, and I really like trying to find these movies that are on weird outliers or sit in these weird positions. That's why I picked Reindeer Games last year, is to really find some movies that are challenging the concept and see if they fit the mark or not.
It didn't.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't make rules for what's a Hanukkah movie, but even if we want to call it a holiday movie, it doesn't fit any of the rules.
No, there's too much foul language in this to hang in there for me, for my deal breakers. But also, I don't know. I don't guess I have too much more to say. I think it's animated for the most part fine. It looks kind of made for TV at times, but
Yeah.
It got one legitimate laugh out of me at the end. It was when Eleanor and Whitey were in the mall by themselves.
Oh,
and
I know.
Whitey was talking to the mall, and then Davey answered some kind of question, and then Eleanor said, "Holy shit, did the mall just say something?" And that was so unexpected that I actually laughed, because I was like, oh, they'd set up how earlier they didn't cuss or anything like that. And so for her to say that just out of nowhere was quite funny for me. Yeah. And I think it was because it was almost over. I was like, okay.
No,
That's probably why.
I agree. I had one other legitimate laugh because it was me remembering what somebody was about to say. It's when he's playing basketball with little Benjamin or whatever, and he says, say the thing I told you to say, and he goes, "Oh yeah, eat that nutsack, bitch," or something like that. And I remembered that he was about to say that, and he was going to get caught by his mom. This is the kind of movie that was like made for 2003 Comedy Central, where it's just, I don't know, lowest common denominator, crass, gross out. When you have deer licking a guy who's covered in feces. This is the kind of, like, this is not necessarily the highest bar of comedy you're going to find.
No, it's the lowest bar ever conceived. Maybe.
Well, I'm glad you got that fun.
Did we have fun? The best part about this movie was that it was an hour and 17 minutes.
I know, yeah.
It barely qualified as a movie.
That made me feel so much better.
And that we managed to not have to pay for it.
Yes. Thank goodness for Tubi.
Thank you, Tubi, and YouTube.
If you want to watch this movie with us, and maybe if you think we're wrong, you can tell us. You can watch it on Tubi right now.
Yeah, please. I was gonna say please do, but I don't really want you to watch 8 Crazy Nights. All right, let's hit up our final thought and score here. I am just gonna. I'm gonna give it half of a star.
Wow, that may be the lowest rating you've ever given on the show.
I personally didn't find anything redeeming about it. I think it should have been thrown away like Batgirl was.
I don't know why. I'm going to give it 1 star. I'm going to give it one full star. I don't know why exactly. I think because that basketball scene was actually well done.
I will also agree with David that I will give it 1 star. My scale, for reference, is 1 star is a bad movie. Half a star is didn't finish or angry I did. I wouldn't say I was angry that I finished this movie, but I would say I was desperately ready for it to end. And so it was very close to that edge, but I will give it a 1 star.
Yeah, Josh was angry with me.
Yeah, I thought you were angry with me and Garrett. I was like, what did we do? Why would he do this to us?
Honestly, I didn't. It was worse than I remembered it. It was. Yeah. I was like, because I remember being 13 and watching this on Comedy Central after hours and thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this is so edgy and funny. But because I was a dumb 13-year-old in 2003. Watching it now and actually being roughly the age that the character's supposed to be now.
33, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it brings around, like, man, I don't know. Like,
well,
I like Adam Sandler a lot. This ain't
not that much. Here's some of the Letterboxd reviews while we think about what the Letterboxd overall score might be. We'll start with this half-star review that says, ha 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 ha, dude poop, fart, shit, burp, loud, transphobia, racism, seizures, ha ha ha, so funny, funny man, fart, poopy butthole.
That's an accurate summary.
1 star, how does a 76-minute long film feel like an eternity? Half a star, fuck it, I'm just gonna text her. It can't get any worse than this. So this one's a little surprisingly high. 2.5 stars. Rob Schneider being racist. That's a technical foul. Oh, here's
like it referenced the movie.
There's a lot of good ones for this. 0.5 star. Do you ever think about the fact that Adam Sandler did this the same year as Punch Drunk Love?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
1
point.
star. Say a prayer for the Iron Giant animators who had to work on this.
Oh.
And then finally, something we didn't even talk about. 1 star. No, Adam Sandler cried to the sobbing animators. The deer shitting scene must be in the movie.
Yeah. That, honestly, that entered my brain. And somebody, I think David mentioned asking why it wasn't live action. And truthfully, that scene is the reason, I think, is because you can't live action that kind of projectile pellets.
No.
Oh yeah,
You can't.
when the deer were pooping themselves, laughing so hard.
Uh-huh.
Right, and all
Yeah.
the gross stuff. Kids were blowing snot out their nose.
You
and all
have they have the tech now; they could do that. In
Now
2002,
they-
maybe
no,
not.
they did.
Disney's on that next.
So what do we think? Who's good? I don't remember Is it still me again, or is it
Oh
someone else?
yes. So Josh, you are in last, but it is a tight race.
Okay.
Josh at 19, me at 20, Garrett at 21. So a direct hit this week could change everything.
Okay, well, I think I'm gonna go with probably, I don't know. I feel like we are very hard on it. I don't know if the whole average is gonna be that low, so I'm gonna pick like 2.1.
Okay. I have no idea where the people are gonna go because
There must be people out here who love this.
there must be. I'll say 2.5.
I think it's gonna not be good. I think I'm gonna take a shot. I'm gonna undercut Josh a little bit and just give it a straight 2.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Okay, that gives us a 2, a 2.1, and a 2.5. This week, we do not have a direct hit, which is great. But the winner is David, which is bad
Wow.
Oh,
for us. It is a 2.4, so it was just barely
2.4.
close enough. Yeah.
wow.
2.4.
Yep.
8.
Yep. You should have split the difference instead, but oh well.
Dang it.
Okay, so that's a win
It's still
for
too
me. That would be
I really thought it was gonna be lower than that.
It
Oh
should
my
be.
gosh.
Yeah.
guys. I did too. I actually thought it was going to be like I thought Josh had hit it with like 2.1 or 2.2.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I don't know then.
I wish I did.
So what this means is that Garrett and I are tied at 21. Josh is just 2 behind at 19. So going into It's a Wonderful Life next week, a direct hit by Josh would take us into a 3-way tie. Or Garrett or I will walk away with the win.
Wow.
And the
It's
prestigious
a nail biter.
3-star award.
Okay, well, the games continue, as they always do. We've got one more week of So Many Santas to go with It's a Wonderful Life to wrap up the holiday season. Then we'll have our end-of-year wrap-up before we go on our annual little hiatus to kick off the new year. So still some show left for you guys as we wrap up 2024. Be sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search So Many Sequels or in your favorite podcasting app, whichever way you prefer to enjoy the show. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok and Threads at So Many Sequels Pod there. And then finally, SoManySequels.com. We've got all the links there and all of our past episodes you can look through as well. So we will see you all next week with more Santa fun. Yay.